All right, today we are going to do lesson 5-1, using patterns to divide. You can find this on page 120 in your math book. Go ahead and open your spirals to a new page and add this title, and then you can go ahead and write down the question that I have for you today. My question today is, a bakery sells muffins to a grocery store in boxes that hold 20 muffins each. If 60 muffins were sold, how many boxes were used? So let's go ahead and highlight or underline the things we find important in this question. We know that in each box, there's going to be 20 muffins. And they're asking us if 60 muffins were sold, how many boxes were used? So their main question is, how many boxes were used for the 60 muffins? So how would I solve this problem? I would use division. I would have to say, how many times does 20 go into 60? So I can write out my problem like this, 20 divided into 60. Well, just by using my 2 facts, I can say 2 goes into 6 3 times, correct? So 20 has to go into 60. If I count by 20s, I say 20, 40, 60. How many times did I do that? 1, 2, 3. So I know my answer is 3. How can I check my division problem? I can do the opposite of dividing, which is multiplying. So I need to multiply 3 by 20 to see if it actually does give me 60. So if I write it out, 20 times 3, 3 times 0 is 0, and 3 times 2 is 6. Did I get the same one? Yes. So my answer would be 60 boxes were used. Now, if I go back to my problem and I say that I want to switch up 60 muffins to 600, a little more scary for some of you, but it's not because you have a pattern to follow. So have this work that you just did for the 60 boxes. Now we want to change the 60 muffins to 600 muffins. So we need to change our problem. Now we have to say 20 divided into 600. Okay, so you already told me that 20 divided by 60 was what? 3. But in this problem, I have this extra 0 just hanging out. All right, either I can just, since I have this extra 0, I can just move them up. Or I can say, I can say 3 times 20 is 60. 60 minus 60, 0. Drop down this 0. How many times does 20 go into double 0? 0 times. So 0 times 20 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. No remainder. So this answer would be 30 boxes. Okay, what if I change my question up even a little bit more and I want to make 600 muffins 6,000. I don't know who eats that many muffins, but we never know. So I would have to change my problem to 20 divided by 6,000. So this looks scarier, but let's use what we know from the past 2 problems that we did. So if we look back at our work, we said 20 divided by 60 is 3. And then we said 20 divided by 600 is 30. What are you noticing about those answers? We're just adding 0. That was 3. This is 30. So let's try this one. So you just got done telling me 20 divided by 600 was what? Let's look. 30. Okay, but we have this extra 0 hanging out. Either you can bring it up and call it good, because then you know you just had a 3, then you added 1 0 here, and now you added 2 zeros. That is your pattern. Or you can do it the long way and say 30 times 20 is 600. And then drop down the 0. 20 goes into 0, 0 times. 0 times 20 is 0, and we get the big 0. So now we have 300 boxes. So this is just another way of showing your work that you just completed. You said 20 divided by 60 was 3. And then you said 20 divided by 600 was 30. We added 1 0 because we have 1 0 that we added to the normal problem. Then we said 20 divided by 6,000 was 300, and there's our 2 zeros. So we are going up a 0 each time we go. So we are going to try another way to do some of these problems. So now if you come across a problem in your homework or on your practice, it's going to ask you to use mental math to find the missing numbers. And your problem may look like this. So your normal problem is the 560 divided into 70. And I'm going to make that so you can actually see this is division. So 560 divided into 70. So we do not know our 70 facts probably, and we don't know what goes into 560. So we have to use what we do know from our multiplication facts. Well, let's think about it. This is telling us that there's 56 tens in 560, because here's our 56 tens. And it's telling us we have 7 tens in 70, because we have 7 tens and 0 ones, right? So just tell me real quick, what is 56 divided by 7? Or another way to ask yourself that is, how many times does 7 go into 56? What times 7 is 56? Some of you may know this off the top of your head, and others may have to do it a little longer way. If you know already that 7 divided into 56 is 8, because 8 times 7 is 56, then you know your answer is 8. That is all it's asking you to do. But it wants you to do this part in your head. So it's just asking you to do 7 divided by 56 in your head to give you the answer to a harder problem. So let's try one more of these together. So I want you to write this problem down in your spiral. 360 divided by 60. So we have to use what we know. We know our facts for 6. So we're saying that in 360 we have 36 tens. In the number 60 we have 6 tens. So it's asking us to use mental math to tell me what is 36 divided into 6. Well, what's 6 times 6? 36. So we know that 6 is our answer. Another way you can look at it, if you do not have your facts down pat, which you need to get working on if you do not, you can say, what is 36 divided by 6? Well, 6 can't go into 3, so how many times does 6 go into 36? 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36, and there is our answer, 6. Some of your problems are just going to look like this, but it is going to ask you to use mental math. So I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can do this. Either you can write it out, but that is not using mental math. So if it does ask you to use mental math, think about this. What is 20 divided into 20? 1. How many zeros do we have left over? 2. What is your answer? 100. That is how easy peasy this is. So another one that we can do just like that is 3,000 divided by 30. How many times does 30 go into 30? 1 time. How many zeros do we have left over? 2. So that is one way to do that. That only works if your numbers are ending in zeros. Sometimes they'll give you a problem like this. So this one is 2,100 divided by, we don't know, equals 700. So you can do this one by working it backwards. Or, so you can say 700 times what equals 2,100. Or you can use your patterns. So 700 has how many placeholders or placeholders? We have 1, 2, 3. So let's count off 3 over here. 1, 2, 3. But don't forget about this extra 0. We need him at the end. So in an easy way, let's say how many times does 7 go into 21? What is 21 divided into 7? 3. Now we have to use that last 0. So easy peasy, your answer is 30. To check that, we can say, sorry, I need to erase. We can say 700 times 30 is, okay, I am sorry, I just caught myself what I did wrong. So we are going to ex-nay this problem. Do not do this problem. Sorry, forgot to add an extra 0 there. Okay, sorry. Let's try this one instead. I wrote it correctly this time. So we want to know what the missing number is in our box. So we have 30,000 divided by something equals 600. Well, 600 has 3 placeholders. So let's count out 3 placeholders over here. How many extra zeros do we have? We have 2. And we are going to say, how many times does this 6 go into, or how many times does 3 go into our 6? Okay, so what I would like you to try is on page 120, I would like you to try numbers. On page 120, I'd like you to try problems 12, 13, 15, 16, and 18. If you forgot your book, you're going to have to do this during your practice time that you could be getting your homework done Monday at school. So go ahead and try those. I will have the answers on the next slide after you fill them in on your quiz questions. If you have any questions, come see me during small group, and we will talk about what is throwing you off. So go ahead and try to solve those in your spiral and write down the answers in the quiz question, please. So your problem for answer 12 should have been 70. Your answer for 13 is 24. For 15, you have the answer of 90, 16, 360, and 18, 90. If you do not have those, that's okay. We will go over it during small groups when I see you on Monday. I will talk to you later. Have a good weekend. See you later.